My friend from uni, I invited him to come. He really liked it, so let's hope he comes this year again.
I was sitting next to my husband and some other people from where I am. I took an old lady with me because I invited her on the street. I know it seems a bit weird, yeah, but I invited her. I was like, hi, let's talk about the love school. And she was like, yeah, she'll come. And I went with my cousin and she really enjoyed it. Surprisingly, she found a boyfriend after that.
I enjoyed the performances, the different performances, you know, the songs, the dances, the routines, and the different surprises that will happen, especially the singing competition. I really enjoyed that.
Just everybody being so happy and upbeat, and the performances and the way that Renato and Chris were so relaxed that they really put themselves across, really made it understandable for us to bring home with us and actually implement in our lives as well.
This time, I'm looking forward to, for my husband to have a better attitude, because the last time he was not feeling it. But I think if he, if he gives it a chance, because he feels like he's done it all, he's been there, he doesn't need anyone to tell him how to do things. But I think we all need it because we're all learning. And I'm going to say to him, I don't think what you saw last year, you actually put it into practice, so we need to go back again.
From last year I learnt a lot, so I'm expecting to learn much more. And if last year was great, I believe this year is going to be even better.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. If, like me, you came from a broken home, you had a mother or father missing, how did that have an effect on you? It had an effect on me. I didn't have a father figure around, and I had my mother who had to play both mother and father. And of course, when you just have one parent around, it has a big effect, not only on the relationship of the husband or wife, the partners, but also on the children. So tonight's topic, we're going to be returning back to the issue of single parents. Are you a single parent? Are you struggling with bringing up a child? Not just a mother, but also, there's a growing number of single fathers as well who find it even more difficult, if I can say, bringing up a child on their own than a mother. Do you have any support around you in bringing up your children? What about supporting your child? Are you getting any support from family and friends? The issue of childcare, the issue of kind of welfare benefits or anything like that. What are your struggles? We would like to hear from you, and we would like to hear from you. We want to spin it tonight because normally it's about the single parents, which is what tonight's program is about. But I want to make it a bit wider tonight. I want to hear from not only parents, but I want to also hear from you who are a child, who have grown up with a single parent, whether that's your father or your mother. Normally it's mothers, but how about growing up with a single father? How has your father been? Has he been a role model to you like a mother would? Or were there any more trials, any more big problems because of your father bringing you up? That's the subject tonight. With me, I have Victoria. Good evening, Victoria.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
This topic, not controversial, but some people can get offended if we don't kind of say the right things.
It's true. I do have some statistics and some statements that psychologists have found about single families that may not work particularly well. And we're not saying that that's for every single parent family at all, but we might highlight a few issues or even give a few tips as to what could benefit a child growing up with single parents. Okay, we're going to hit those stats in a few moments' time. Before we do that, have a look at this video. It's going to explain much more about single parents. 26% of households are single-parent families, and there are 2 million single parents in Britain today. There are now almost twice as many people living alone than there were 40 years ago. Not only are more people getting divorced, but the popularity of marriage has fallen, and the proportion of single women aged 18 to 49 who have never married has doubled. So what are the challenges of raising a child as a single parent? Time, workload, tiredness, lack of support, and a lack of time on your own. So, here are some tips of how to adjust to being a single parent. Don't waste time being angry. After a relationship breakdown or sudden bereavement, it's very easy to be angry. Holding on to this anger can be unproductive and ultimately not good for your child. Positive thinking and focusing on your child can go some way to prevent such negativity from being present. Set up a support network. Socialise with other parents. Arrange play dates with other children. Try to look for free groups such as toddler and baby groups. Not only will this encourage the socialisation of your child, but it's likely to make you feel much better if you're doing something for yourself once in a while. Schedule some time for yourself. Book a babysitter once a week or ask family members to help out. Have some time, even if it's just an hour, to do something that you enjoy, like reading a book, watch a film, or have a long chat with an old friend on the phone. Don't expect too much of yourself. If you feel like you've failed at something, pick yourself up and accept that everyone struggles occasionally and try again. Have fun. Make sure you do an enjoyable activity with your child at least once a week. That way you remember the joys of parenthood as well as the stress and the worry that it brings.
Victoria just telling me now during the break that there's a big trend in parents choosing to be single. Is that right?
That's right, absolutely. The proportion of single women aged 18 to 49 who have chosen never to marry has doubled in the last 40 years.
In the last 40 years. Mm-hmm. That's a worrying trend, right? For me, that is. Why? I don't have any children, but I always said that if I did have children, that I would never, ever leave my child. I will always be the father to my child, be the husband to my wife, but be the father to my child, because I know the struggles, I know the pain of not having another parent there. I saw my mum struggle, right? She tried to be tough, not only play the mother, but also had to play the father in, being tough, in working hard to bring in the income, and also to discipline me and my brother. And it took a toll on her. It's not easy for anyone, actually. So that trend is worrying, choosing not to be together. So let me throw in a spanner in the works. Do you think that a parent choosing to be single, probably women, mothers choosing to be single, could that be the decline in society, the decline in how teenagers grow up because of one parent's decision, deciding not to have a father figure around? That's another area that we like to pose to you. So if you would like to include your views here on the program, then feel free to call in. Victoria's got the information that you can contact us with, right, Victoria?
Absolutely. So we have Twitter. If you can send us a tweet, the address is @FindAnswersTV, or you can like our Facebook page. Alternatively, there are people all the time on the telephones waiting to call, for you to call in and they'll talk to you. The number is 020 7686 6300, or you can send us an email, and I'm happy to read that out live right now. And the address is help@findinganswers.tv.
There you go, that's information. So, we'd like to hear your opinion if you're a single mother, if you're a single father, or maybe a child caught in the middle. Especially like to hear from you on your struggles, or maybe things have turned out actually okay. You know, there have not been any problems, though you haven't had, you know, the other mother or father figure there, but life for you has been okay. We'd like to hear how that happened. Our guest tonight is a single mother who's going to be talking about her experiences. And if you relate to her story, then by all means, you can share that with us. We're going to go for a break now, and we'll be back, and you're going to meet this single mother. Her name is Dian. We'll see you after this.
People are familiar with the concept, you gotta love somebody, you fall in love with someone. Yes, but people are not learning that there are certain rules that if you don't follow in love, you will kill that love.
It was amazing, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
It's beneficial to everyone.
Amazing atmosphere here today. BYG Love School.
Click on to uckg.org for all the latest happenings at the UCKG Help Centre. It's dynamic, interesting and full of content that will add to your daily life. Keep up to date with all the latest info on events up and down the country at a UCKG closest to you. There's something for everyone and you're invited. Check out what we've done previously and update your calendar with what's coming up next. Ladies, especially for you, presenters and authors Nanda Becerra, Esther Becerra, Chris Cardoso and Viviani Freitas share with you advice on becoming a better woman. Read their top tips on health, beauty, love and well-being, all aimed at helping you become the woman you were created to be. And if you're looking for food for the soul and personal development, then check out messages from world-renowned spiritual leader Bishop Macedo, as well as character-building blogs from Bishops Renato and Celso Jr. It's spiritual intelligence for your life. And for all you young guys and girls, why not check out our section dedicated to youth? Real talk, real advice, and a whole lot of fun. Catch cool clips of their shows and listen to the catchiest VYG record track. Want some inspiration? Watch our live transformational videos, recent programs, plus all the promos and coverage of some of our best shows and events.
Hello, very good evening to all of you. This is Finding Answers.
Finding us is easy. Wherever you are in the UK, find the UCKG nearest to you at a click of a button. uckg.org. All you need at your fingertips.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, if you're just flicking the channels now, stop where you are, right? Because if you are a single parent, if you are a father or a mother or a child, and you're going through any kind of issues at the moment, being in a single parent family, then maybe something tonight, said by our guest, will be able to help you or even support you in any way. All right? So let's go now to our guest tonight, Dian Pryce.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome back. So tonight's guest is Dian Pryce. Hi, Dian.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So you're here tonight to share with us your experience of being a single mother.
Yes, definitely.
Right? You have your son is now
7.
7 years old.
Yeah.
And how long have you been a single parent for?
I've been a single parent since the last 4 years.
4 years now.
Yeah.
Now, no one wants to be a single mother.
No.
Right? Single father, single parent. But before we go into that, you have a story to tell about your life before that, right? How was life before for you?
Life before was basically, when my partner was around, life was really happy because everything was just going really great and everything until there was just one day that basically I found out that he was cheating on me. Mm-hmm. And at first I thought to myself, he will change. It's only happened for a while, things will change. And I thought, yeah, I was okay with it because growing up in a home where I've always had my mom and dad, I always thought that I will find when I've got a child, that's the same way that it would be for me. I wouldn't have to become a single mom because I was afraid of being one of the statistics that I've seen going on with my friends and stuff like that. So I didn't thought that I would become a statistic.
Yeah. So you came from a stable family.
Yes.
You met your partner.
Yes.
Right? And you got together and you had a child. How was your life before that? I mean, in terms of career-wise, in terms of, your goals and things like that. What were you doing in life?
First of all, when I met my partner, I was a successful Army career officer, which that takes me quite a long way away from home. So knowing that my partner was always there whenever I would go traveling and come, he would always be there. He was always picking me up at the airport and stuff like that.
And he was understanding.
He was very understanding about my career, yeah.
So normally the man would go off, right, in the army and do whatever needed to be done. But this was you.
Yeah.
And he would be was he the stay-at-home father or was he working as well as looking after you?
He was also working.
Right.
Yeah. And then I thought to myself, no, I've got to be home. I'm not now a mom, so I've got to be home with my son and everything. And then it was just like little arguments started and I just thought, he's just being fatigued by me wanting to put things the way that he doesn't like. So I didn't thought of it that there was like somebody else or anything. I just thought, okay, so it's just a normal issue that's happening.
You were now at home, and that's when you noticed things weren't quite right.
Yeah.
When did you find out that he cheated on you?
It was when I noticed that he wasn't doing the things that we actually enjoy doing anymore. He was like finding excuses not to be around at certain times, and I'll be like, why are you being like that? I would say, I'm going to work, and I'm thinking, that's not your usual working pattern. And then I literally confronted him. I said, what's going on?
Did you have any inkling that he was cheating on you? Did that thought cross your mind?
It crossed it many times, and then I thought to myself, no, he wouldn't do that because we've been together for so long, so he wouldn't do that. And I'll keep saying, I trust him and that. But when he actually answered it, I was like, I didn't expect it to hear that. I was expecting him to deny it or saying, no, what are you thinking of? But he didn't. He actually says. And then even when he said that, he just said, "Oh, but I love you more." And I was thinking, how can you love me more
if you did
if
this
you
thing?
did that?
Right.
What you doing?
So, did you chase him out? Did you end it? Did he decide to leave?
Well, I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna make it work. I'm just gonna stick with it and see, is he gonna make a choice? But in the end, it was like, no, I can't do this, because my mom, I started thinking about my mom. My mom wouldn't have accepted this. I wasn't even thinking about myself anymore. I was just thinking, my mom wouldn't have accepted this. My siblings, they wouldn't accept this. So I thought, no, it has to be an end to this.
Did you think of your son as well? Did that play a part for him not having a father around?
Well, when I thought of it, I was thinking, okay, actually, he always said to me, even if we separated, he will always be there. So I thought, okay, if we separated, he's going to be there. So therefore, my son is not going to be without a father figure.
So you separated?
Yeah.
But then I'm assuming that's when problems started to occur. Things got worse for you.
Things got worse.
Tell us about your experience, please.
Basically, I had a business. The business started going down. I wasn't able to keep on top of my finances.
So what was your business?
At childcare. So I was running, taking care of children from my home.
Right.
Yeah. So everything was like spiraling. I wouldn't have the courage or the energy anymore to look after the kids anymore. It wasn't enjoyable anymore, because I was thinking, what's the point? Because there's no one to help me.
No, it's like half of you was missing now, right? You know, your heart was broken. You don't have that support, someone to be there to support you emotionally, physically, and now financially.
Yeah.
So the business had an effect. It had an effect on the business.
It did.
So it started going downhill. What happened?
Everything just started going downhill. If somebody would call, I wouldn't even want to answer them to say that. I would literally say to them, I've got no vacancy at the moment, which I had. But because there wasn't a stability anymore, I didn't want to have kids into that environment anymore. I didn't want people to understand, to know what was going on. I basically wanted to cover it up.
Did it affect your work with the children?
I think it would have affected it, because that's why I took the decision not to have them anymore, because...
So you're quite strong enough to make the decision, I don't want to harm or affect these children in any way, so it's best just to close this business down.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been a hard decision to make, right?
It has been very hard for me, because growing up, I always want to be able to take care of kids, to help them develop and stuff like that. And for me not being able to do that, it was really hard.
I'm sure some of those kids must have seemed like your own kids. They must have looked at you as like an auntie or mother or something.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
do. That was, because even when I would go out on the street, they would say, oh, that's auntie, she took care of me. I was like, oh, so for me it was like a joy seeing them saying, auntie took care of me.
Yeah.
But now I didn't see that joy inside of me anymore, because...
I can relate to that, because there was a child of mine that used to look after me. I haven't seen her for years, but you know, I still call her auntie. How are you? Right? I visit her, I don't know, once every few years, and you know, I can relate. There's still that affection, that bond. Yeah. So that business went down. What else happened, or how did it affect you or your son?
Well, for my son, at first I didn't think that it would have affected him, because I was trying to give him so much love so that he wouldn't notice that his dad wasn't around. Mm-hmm. So there was one particular day that at school they had a day when it has to be a father had to bring that child. They call it Father's Tea Time.
So mothers weren't present, just dads?
Just dads.
Right.
And when he came home with the letter, I was thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this? So at that same time, I was trying to get like friends and other people to go with him, but then he wouldn't accept it. He said he wanted his dad. Mm. But anyway, I allowed him to go to school that day. And when he go to school and I picked him up, he was in so much tears because emotionally it was just too much for him. And I felt so bad because I thought, look what I'm putting my child through.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I was thinking, I shouldn't have had a child like this. It makes me second think of why did I chose to have a child.
So did you ever regret? You regretted having a child?
I did at one point regret it,
Mm-hmm.
because when I looked at my son, he would look exactly like his dad. So every time I look at him, I would think, oh, I don't even want to have this child anymore, because all he's doing is just reminding me of the hurt that his dad has done to me.
Okay, so it wasn't the pain necessary that your child was going through. It was more, it reminded you of his father and what he did to you.
Yes.
Right. So you still had issues there that you hadn't dealt with your child's father.
Yeah, I hadn't dealt with it at all.
Now, did he ever come round? Did you, obviously he had access?
He had
to your
access.
child?
He had access to the child. Yeah.
I mean, how was that? Did he ever want to come back? Was there struggles there? Were there disagreements? Did the family, your parents or his parents get involved?
No, it was more like when he come around, he wanted to see me instead of the child, because he wanted to think that we could have got back together.
Right.
And I wouldn't allow it.
Mm-hmm.
I was only saying to him, your child is more important at the moment. And then he only came as well because of that day that happened with the tea day, and I sent him a text to explain to him that, look, because this situation happened at school, can you be around more for the child? And he just came, and I thought, okay, he's come, he's going to be all nice with the child and he's going to say sorry. But he didn't come to say sorry. He came with the intention of trying to be with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I didn't accept that.
Deep down, did you want to be with him?
I did. I did, because I didn't want to be a single mom. Because being in the stable family makes me always have that value for a stable family. So I didn't want to be a single mom.
But did you know that if you did accept him back, things wouldn't be the same? You wouldn't be able to trust him?
I wouldn't definitely be able to trust him anymore, because I'll be constantly looking over his shoulder, maybe searching his pockets and trying to follow him or things like that. So I wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah. Look, maybe you can relate to Diane's story, where you are single, you've made a decision maybe to be single, but you are hurting inside. You see your child crying, you are hurt, he or she is hurt, and you are really struggling in supporting your child. Maybe your partner or ex-partner is not there, though they are there, but they are not there. Right? They're not supporting the child. I don't just mean throwing money at the child if they are doing that, but being there as a father. If you need any advice, if you need any help, then you can give us a call, right? Diane's story you're going to hear in the next part of the program, how things turned around for her. Today she's happy, and maybe today you are not happy. You are struggling, right? Maybe you cry yourself to sleep because of what's happened. Maybe because of your partner who's hurt you. Maybe because of what your children or child has gone through or is going through. And you don't know what to do. You feel alone. There's no support for you. There is support financially, benefits, but that's not what you wanted. You didn't want to have a family to have benefits. So having more money to buy nappies or to send your child to school or food, that's not the issue. The issue is a lot deeper than that, right? It's the whole family issue. And that's why that statistic or that trend of women choosing not to marry, this is my issue, this is my gripe, because it's like you're reaping the fruit of your decisions. And sometimes some people can say, you know what, I prefer to bring up my child on my own. But if you look at it, obviously you're not going to look at everyone's story. But if you look at the stats, if you look at your life and your friends and your relatives, there's a pattern there. Children aren't happy. Women aren't happy. It's struggling, and that's why there's a breakdown in society today. That's my opinion, and I don't think I'm wrong. If there's no support, if there's no family, if there's no marriage, husband, wife, children together, then you're going to have this breakdown in families. Do you agree with me? I don't know. Why don't you bring up and share your opinion with us? Maybe you disagree with me and you want to shout at me, then give us a call. Who knows? We want a reaction from you. I want to hear if you agree or you don't agree. If you can relate to Dian's story or you have your own story that you'd like to share with us, then give us a call, okay? We're going to go for a quick break now. Before we do, there's a video I'd like to show you. We have some vox pops, right? Some street interviews of what people had to say about this. And then we'll see you after the break.
There's no stereotype anymore.
Protect yourself, sometimes you probably do.
It will heal, but it will always...
They're humans, they have the ability to use their initiative.
Find it difficult to just be happy in this life.
Hi, I'm Victoria Edgecombe, and tonight on Finding Answers, we're talking about raising a child as a single parent. So I've been out about asking people the question, do you think there are any negative impacts of raising a child as a single parent?
I don't think so. Maybe that when they have only one mother and not a father, maybe...
No, because, my parents were separated, but it never made much of a difference, one parent could be a bit struggling with money and stuff but they've parents, sure they're strong enough and they get through it. So I don't think so.
There's not any major negative impacts, but I would say if you're raised by your mother, it would be important to have a fatherly figure in your life, and vice versa, if you're raised by a father, it'd be important to have a motherly figure in your life.
If you're a single mother suffering from a troubled past, then don't lose hope. There's always someone you can turn to. We understand. With all the challenges of everyday life, the financial responsibility, and the pressure of being a single parent, life can be overwhelming at times. Single parents and their children can flourish, but without the right support, a family can fall apart. The Tamar Group is there for lone parents who need guidance, support and encouragement to get them through their everyday battles. Whether it's a group discussion, a mother and child bonding session or some personal advice, we are here for you. Everyone needs a helping hand at one point or another. Let us be yours. For more information on our meetings and where the nearest Tamar Group is to you, then visit our website uckg.org/Tamar or give us a call on 020 7686 6000.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
Hello and welcome back to Finding Answers. This evening we're talking about raising a child as a single parent. Now if you have any comments or you would like to ask our guest Diane any questions, then please send us a tweet. The address is @FindAnswersTV, or you can talk to us on Facebook. You just need to like our page and you can have a conversation with us there, or you can call in. The number is 020 7686 6300, or send us an email, help@findinganswers.tv. Now we have a short video on the experiences of a man as a single parent.
There are a lot of challenges that come with the territory of being a single parent. How do I show my son a proper example of family life? How do I find enough time for myself? How do I get exercise? How do I do all these things that are often so much easier when there's another parent in the picture? In the end, you just have to buckle down and find a way to do it all, even though it's a little bit trickier. I have to show a proper example to my son of a family life by being a proper parent and showing respect to his mother, even though she's not in the home with us. I have to wake up early to get exercise. I have to find time to leave my son and work on myself. I have to do all of these things just like a married parent would do. I just have to get tricky about how I do it. And by doing that, I become a much more healthy parent in the long run.
I'm really trying to understand a single father like that man. If I was a single father, I mean, I can't cook a meal to save my life, right? If I had a child, you know, I could manage on toast and fried eggs and, you know, buy meals outside, but to cook for yourself and your child, and to, you know, imagine if I had a daughter, for example, what am I going to tell her about the birds and the bees? You know, talking about, you know, when it's her first period, for example. What can I do? How am I going to explain that to her? So can you see, sometimes it's about the single mother having problems, but what about the single fathers as well, right? So if you have an experience that you would like to share, maybe you're a single father and you have a daughter or daughters, and you found it hard to explain to them issues like this, then please send in your email, give us a call. All right, back to Diane now with her story. Diane, you said just before the break that every time you looked at your son, he reminded you of your partner.
Yes.
That must have been hard to deal with.
It was very hard to deal with because I loved him. I had loved him, and to knowing that, being in a relationship for so long, and then it just ended one day just like that. It was like a big setback for me.
Well, did it remind you? Did your son remind you of your partner in a good way or a bad way? Because you know sometimes it'll be like when your son smiles, you remember the good times, or maybe when your son's angry and he does something, and you say, that's exactly how your father used to be, right? And then you kind of take it out on your child. So how was it?
Yeah, my son has got an attitude like that, especially when he's doing his building blocks and it falls over. He likes to go, and then I'm like, your dad would do that. Can you not do that? So,
you actually said that to him?
Please do not do that.
Right. But how can you say that to your child, right? Because it's like you're blaming him for what the father did.
Yeah.
Right? But obviously you don't do that now.
No, I don't do that now. I've learned, yeah.
But you can see the dilemma. Did you ever think, oh, I shouldn't have said that to him?
There were sometimes I think, oh, what did I just do? Because I always say I wouldn't want to paint it. Is that bad in his image? So for me, saying that, it was basically I started to paint his dad like his dad was the monster.
Yes.
So there was times he used to say, so mommy, why did you say that? Was daddy that bad? And I was like, no, your daddy is not bad. Your daddy is a very good man. He just doesn't understand what's going on.
For your son to ask that question, there was a seed that was sown there, right? Just by your comment.
Yeah.
And a comment here, a comment there, he's going to start painting this picture. Yeah. And you wonder why so many young children, they start hating their fathers or hating their mothers for not being there, because that parent maybe maliciously or not intentionally wanting to, paint them in a bad way, but just some comments are enough to trigger that hate towards their family, their father or mother. So, what was the worst moment for you?
The worst moment for me was basically I became homeless.
Really?
Yes.
How?
Because I wasn't able to, because business went bad and everything, I wasn't able to maintain my bills. There was like debts coming in, but I wasn't able to financially maintain it. I didn't have a job anymore. I was going out every day. I would drop my son to school. He didn't know that I didn't have a job because I would leave him out of it. I would just drop him to school and he thinks everything's okay. But mommy would be going out trying to look jobs, but I wouldn't be getting any success or anything like that. And then I went on to do my level 3 of my childcare, hoping that I could have opened my own nursery now. And once I've done that, whilst I was at the school, I was doing volunteering and I thought, okay, I would get a job at the school, but it didn't work out. So eventually my landlady was fed up of me trying to say, oh, I'll give you the money next week. So she was just fed up of it. So she basically said to me, you've got to go. And then when I go and I try to look help, there was no help there for me. They were saying that you intentionally do this because you could have done. So for me, it was really hard. And then when we would go out, he will see his friends eating something and he will say, oh, mommy, can I have that? It was hard for me to say to him, no, you can't. I just tried to say to him, oh, not today. Tomorrow we'll have it. Maybe another day, maybe the next day.
So were you homeless?
Yes, we were homeless for 8 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Not literally on the street?
Not literally on the street. We were just going friends. And eventually one of my friends took us in and we were staying there. While we were staying there, we basically didn't have anywhere actually to sleep. We were just like sleeping on my friend's floor, which was really hard for me to knowing that my parents never had such a difficulty with me. Everything was always provided for me. So then I started looking in myself, looked down on myself thinking, what is this that I'm doing? That even there was one point I even phoned the social service and I said, can you help me by taking this child because I can't maintain my child? And that's when the lady said to me, no, you can get help. And then she started pointing me in the right direction.
Where did they point you to?
They point me to the housing, that I could get help from the housing and the Citizens Advice Bureau. So they were basically trying to... Did
you find a place? Did they
I eventually found a place, yes.
You did?
Yes.
You found a place? Were you working?
Yes, I eventually got a job.
But though you found a place, they gave you benefits, right? You settled down, kind of got a roof over your head. You can kind of go back to some sort of normality.
Yeah.
Were you happy?
No, I wasn't happy at that time because having been so what would I say? Having my son have to be asking me for things and I wasn't able to provide it. It didn't seem like I was a mother anymore. It just felt like I was a loser.
Yeah. So your life has changed.
Yes.
Right? We don't have much time, but tell us, how did your life change? What was the turning point?
The turning point for me was when I came to the church. I found a church and then I was basically listening to the advice of the advisors and I was putting it into practice. And I did the chains of prayers, especially Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sundays. I was coming and everything that they were saying, I was just putting into practice, going out there and making a difference, seeing the difference. So if they would say, oh, do B, I would go ahead and do B. And when I would do it, I would see result from it.
So what would you see?
I would see, like, for instance, they would say to me, for me to get the job, they said to me, go out there, sell yourself, speak. What are your qualities? So I'd go and I would say what I'm capable of doing, what I've got. Like, for instance, I'm able to make sure the children can do this. So I was just basically telling them myself. So I was actually being sold as a product. So I became the product now instead of them picking and choosing whoever. So
that was, for example, your financial life,
for my financial life.
What about you as a person inside? What about that hurt? Maybe that anger that you had?
Yeah.
Did you get help for that?
I did get help for that because basically I was coming on the Fridays and I realized that these things cannot be inside of me. So one of the biggest things was for me to do was to forgive. Mm-hmm. Forgiving his dad was really hard. So when I actually forgave him, then I realized that that was the thing that was holding back my life. So
that was the root.
That was the root to everything. So after forgiving him, I was able to have confidence in going out there to do whatever that I want to do and to progress. So I basically, that was what was holding me back.
So it wasn't necessarily, okay, he cheated on you, he left you, but your life could have moved forward, but it was held back because of that grudge. That ill feeling inside of you. And you can see that now, that was holding you back.
Yes.
How is Dian today?
Dian today, I'm free, I'm not angry, I don't hold grudges anymore. I can speak to his dad without even get angry. Even if I speak to him and he doesn't come around to look for my son, it doesn't hurt me anymore.
Yes. So he comes around, you see him?
No.
He doesn't come around anymore?
He doesn't come around, but even if I send him a text and he doesn't reply, it doesn't hurt me. Whereas before I would get angry and I would even smash the phone and say, what's happened to this stupid man? Yes. I don't say that anymore.
And you're moving forward now?
Moving forward, yeah.
Yes. So, Dian, thank you very much for coming and sharing your story. Now, if you can relate to anything Dian said, maybe you have a grudge against your partner. Maybe you have a grudge against your parent or both your parents. Maybe you're caught up in the middle of siding between mum and dad and you don't like to be there. You don't like to be in the middle. That's what it means from a child's point of view when it comes to being a single parent, right? It's not just the parent's side of the story, it's also the child's side of the story as well. If you would like us to pray for you, as Dian did, she received prayer and also started to learn how to pray to change her situation. Today, she's successful working, she's happy, right? She's an example now for her son. I know her son is a very nice lad, very nice boy. He's very polite. He's, the way I don't know if you can agree with me, but I had a short conversation with him and he's very intelligent.
He is.
His words are very smart, very clean.
Smart, yeah.
If I can say
and he's
like
top.
that.
He's top of his class as well.
Yeah.
And he's actually working at higher level than he's working 2 years above his level now as well because.
Yeah. So look at the turnaround. Now imagine if her son kept those words with him. Dian hadn't changed, and he kept those words with him. Probably things would have turned out a lot different. So we would like to offer a prayer for you. Get your glass of water ready, because after the break, we're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back with the love letters? Love answers. Love answers, that's it. Mixing up the emails, right? So the love answers, and then we're going to go for the prayer. Let's go for a quick break. We'll be back after this.
The message that is being broadcast through music, through movies, and all kinds of media is this message: follow your heart. If it feels good, just go for it. It's not working.
I wanted to be a good wife, but the problem was that I was focused on what he wasn't good at. You have to be like this. You have to be like that.
You love that person so much, you want to improve that person. She still doesn't eat her greens. And this constant reminding, why aren't you more like this? Why do you always do that? It backfires.
And that was my problem, because we don't change people.
Should we just give up on love and say, well, it's bad, well, it is what it is? How about you deciding, okay, we are having problems, but let's use our intelligence, let's use our heads. There's no Mr. Right, there's no Mrs. Right. If you want to marry to be happy, don't. First, be happy and then get married. Okay?
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, let's go to our spot called Love Answers. Go ahead.
So we do have a tiny video as well to go with this. Single mother, and I've just signed on to an online dating site. Now I feel guilty. Do you think this is deceiving?
Well, do you think this is deceiving? Well, what do you think, Victoria? It's not much in the question. However, what would I say? It's not wrong to go dating online, but there are dangers of dating online. You're a single mother. I know that you're looking for love. However, going online is not the best place to be. So maybe you do feel guilty for going online. Maybe what you're saying to people that you are talking to online, maybe makes you feel guilty. I don't know if that's the issue. Maybe it's you're doing it in secret, no one knows, right? Instead of meeting someone in a traditional way and talking. It depends, but I would say just be careful. I would not date online. As you know, there are many wicked people out there who want to deceive, right? Those people are the deceivers because you don't actually know the person until you meet them face to face. So my advice to you is, you are single before you start dating anyone, whether online or face to face. Make sure that you are right first. Make sure you've got over your past, whether you have an ex-partner who has hurt you. Make sure you get help in sorting out any issues before you start dating. What would you say to that? Would you like to add anything to that, Victoria?
I think if she is a working mother, I think she's saying she's quite busy. But all I'm going to say is that psychologists suggest that children thrive on stability. So if you are going to meet somebody new, then maybe meet them away from the home for the first few times, just to make sure, so the child doesn't become attached if it doesn't work out.
Okay. If you would like a question answered here, then please send it in to us. All right? So here is our glass of water. If you think to yourself, what is this glass of water going to do? Well, it's an instrument. It's something that we use to bless. And if you are hurting, if you feel lost, if you feel down, if you feel suicidal even, maybe this topic tonight doesn't relate to you. Maybe you just can't sleep. Maybe you are unwell. Get a glass of water, because not only will I be praying for the single parents out there or the children, but I'll be praying to bless this glass of water. And whatever your need is, I believe God will answer it. Let's go for the prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer and include you in the Finding Answers prayer book, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I present this glass of water to you. We have viewers who are going through a tough, hard time as a single parent. Not only mothers, but also fathers as well, who are struggling to cope with bringing up their child on their own. And not only for the parents, but also there are children who are suffering as well. There are boys who have found it hard growing up without a father. They don't have a role model to look up to. They don't have someone to teach them what boys need to know that only comes from a father. There are daughters who also have the same problems. Growing up with the father who can't be there. Maybe their father is not emotional enough to listen and deal with the issues of a teenage daughter. My God, whatever their need is, whatever this person now who is joining us in this prayer, whatever their need is, I pray, Father, that you may help them. Not just in a physical way, as Dian got help physically, support from counseling, support from government agencies, but we're not talking about that support. We're talking about the help that only you can provide. And that's that inner peace. That is this person who can't forgive, this person who's hurt, who was betrayed by their partner. My God, let this glass of water be like holy medication, that when they will drink this water, that hurt, that pain, that suffering will end, my God. If this person cannot sleep, so Lord, let this water be like medication to take away that insomnia. Heal this person who is sick, my God, whatever their need is, and this person believes in this prayer. So give to them what they are asking for, what they're praying for now, what they are hoping for. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I determine this water blessed. Drink it now and receive this answer according to your need. In Jesus' name. So here she is, a happy single mother, hopefully not for long, right, Dian?
Hopefully.
Do you have plans to get married?
Yes, I do.
You do? You're working on that.
I'm working.
And that's the thing. On Finding Answers, we help people to find an answer. She has been helped inside, so now she has a goal of, moving on in her love life. If you would like help, then please tune in for tomorrow's program and we'll be here with another story for you. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Bye-bye.